FBI officials have recommended that the Bureau's former deputy director, Andrew McCabe, be fired. The recommendation comes just days before McCabe is set to retire. He took over as the Bureau's acting director last May after President Trump fired Director James Comey. President Trump has been publicly critical of McCabe in the past, asking via Twitter last July why Attorney General Jeff Sessions had not replaced him. CBS News Justice and Homeland Security correspondent Jeff Pegues joins us from Washington to talk about this. Jeff, Andrew McCabe is set to retire on Sunday, and if he is fired, it could impact his pension and his retirement benefits. So why are FBI officials recommending this now?
Well, according to this IG report, and keep in mind, Errol, that the final report has not yet been released, but according to our sources, it will conclude that McCabe misled investigators when it came to his to questions that he was answering about his dealings with reporters as it related to the Clinton Foundation investigation. And so within the FBI, lying during an investigation or to an investigator is, of course, a cardinal sin. So news of this recommendation and what it sprang from is coming as a shock to a lot of people within the FBI community. But this is serious business for Andrew McCabe. He is a veteran FBI official, but he is in trouble based on the recommendations of this report.
And I'm just wondering if that shock to everyone else at the FBI is purposeful. I mean, what are the optics of the timing of this decision if he is in fact fired? Well,
the timing isn't good. I mean, when you look at the overall picture here, you have the Russia investigation underway, and of course the FBI in the initial stages of the Russia investigation, it was Andrew McCabe who led this investigation. And also you have in the White House a president who has been quite critical of the FBI, and that is perhaps an understatement, and he's been critical of Andrew McCabe specifically. So any black eye at this point on the FBI as it relates to any investigation is not good, and you have people within the FBI community bracing for more bad news.
Now, the Department of Justice released a statement saying it follows a very specific process when determining whether or not to fire an employee. What is that process and procedure?
Well, they're going to review it, and this is a process that will be led by the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. So the pressure is going to be on him to make a decision here. And keep in mind, you have this President Trump who has had these very critical tweets of Andrew McCabe, criticizing McCabe for sort of waiting out the days within the Bureau until his retirement. So the pressure is going to be on Jeff Sessions to fire Andrew McCabe. But we'll just have to see what he decides to do. And from what we're hearing, this decision could come within the next few days.
And we've seen the Attorney General really twist himself into pretzels trying to give the president what he wants. He famously recused himself from the Russia investigation to the president's ire. Is the expectation that Jeff Sessions would follow through on this act? I mean, I know it's tough to know for sure, but is that the expectation?
Well, that is the expectation, but you bring up a good point. The Attorney General, just in the nature of his job, has had to really keep the president at arm's length. But there has obviously been public pressure on the Attorney General to carry out decisions that please President Trump. And so he's been put in one of these situations once again where there will be pressure from the White House, whether it's a tweet from the president or a statement from the president, to make this decision to fire Andrew McCabe. So, yeah, once again, the pressure is on Jeff Sessions to make a decision here, and it may not be the decision that the president likes.
All right, Jeff Pegues joining us from our D.C. Bureau. Good to see you, Jeff. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.